Shemai! Today is such a beautiful day and I would much rather be outside, but I need to be revising, so I thought I'd procrastinate and make a video. By the time that you are watching this video, I will have completely finished my first year of uni. My last exam is on Monday. Today is Friday when I'm making this video, and it's gone so fast. I thought I'd make a video just to kind of like think about my past year and how I've enjoyed it, how I haven't enjoyed it, and tell you all about it. So as you can tell, possibly, maybe, from the sign on the door, I live in halls. I have been living in halls for the whole year, and I knew straight away when I decided to go to uni that I wanted to live in halls in my first year. For me, this was a big part of uni because you get to meet so many people that you probably wouldn't meet otherwise. No one in my flat does my course. 3 of them do psychology, but I wouldn't have met the people that I've met had it not been for living in halls. There are other ways of doing it. You can just go straight into private accommodation, but the most mainstream, the easiest thing to do, because you're with the uni then and you know that you're safe, basically, it's to live in uni accommodation. Now in my flat there are 8 of us, me and 7 other people. Yay. It can be a bit daunting at first, but you kind of get used to living with so many people, and we only share a kitchen. Every uni accommodation in Bangor has their own ensuite bathroom, so that's what you can see, that's what this door is here. And so that was like a really big selling point for me because I knew that I wanted my own ensuite, whereas I know other people have gone to uni expecting an ensuite or wanting an ensuite and then being put into shared bathrooms. And I know that if I was sharing with the people that I was sharing with this year, like if I was sharing a bathroom with them, I'm not sure how I would cope, because sharing a kitchen with them is enough. Speaking about the kitchen, with the kitchens in Bangor, it's a bit meh. You get quite small fridges and equally sized freezers. There are 8 of you and there are about 5 drawers in the freezer and maybe about 6 shelves in the fridge, which is a bit daft, and especially as there is room to get a bigger fridge. So Bangor, that's on you. You can get some new fridge freezers. So it's about giving and taking. You got to share your space. Luckily, somehow I managed to get my own shelf. Somehow. Maybe it's just because I'm a veggie and I like having my own space. I did share it with another girl who was also a veggie at the beginning of the year, but then somehow she swapped shelves, I don't really know. And then equally in the freezer I've managed to get my own drawer, so I'm quite lucky, and I'm very happy that I managed to do that. However, you can make it work. You just might have stuff in different drawers and different shelves and everything, but just make sure you know whose is whose. And that's another thing, is when people decide to maybe use your things without telling you, you kind of have to get used to that a bit. And there were a couple incidents in my flat where someone threw something out because it smelt bad, and then the other person got upset, and yeah. Basically, if it's hygiene related, then just do it, get rid of it. If it's gonna like stink up the whole fridge, then do it, but make sure you tell the person that you've done it. So there haven't been many dramas. There are a couple of people that maybe I wouldn't want to live with. Maybe if I'd been able to choose I wouldn't have lived with them, but equally it's shown me that living and dealing with people that you don't particularly like or get along with is going to be a fact of life. On the whole, my experience with halls has been really, really good. I like the size of my room. I will be doing a uni room tour before I leave, so that'll be up soon-ish. Who knows? Especially now that I've got a bit more time after exams, I can actually do some more videos. My bathroom is a decent size, the kitchen as a whole is a decent size. I get enough storage space. I know some people get a little bit less, but on the whole I'm happy. But one of the main things that I wish I'd done is kind of set a guideline to begin with in the kitchen to say, like, wash your dishes. because there are so many people who don't wash their dishes, and we the thing is that we get marked on it as well, and so you would think that people would just do them. I know it's annoying to have to do your dishes, and sometimes I don't like to do them, but when I do have to like let them pile up, I let them pile up in my room. Like, I might swill them out or whatever, but then it's not causing other people any, like, not discomfort, that's not the right word, any inconvenience to anybody else. But that's just me, that's just me. So the main reason why I'm in uni is because I wanted to do my degree. My degree, if you don't know already, is English language and French, and I do it through the medium of Welsh. Now, I am a second language Welsh learner, so I'm not fluent, not at all. I have a GCSE and an A-level in second language Welsh, and so when I was looking for unis, I ultimately wanted somewhere where I could carry on learning Welsh. The unis that I applied to included Cardiff, Edinburgh and Bangor, and if I'd chosen Cardiff then I probably could have done a bit of Welsh, but I knew that if I came to Bangor I would basically be immersed in it, because then, like, the difference between Bangor and Cardiff is that Cardiff is a capital city, so there's not a lot of Welsh spoken there. If you look at all the statistics, there's like the majority of people who speak Welsh are from the north, and so I decided to emigrate, who knows, to move upwards, kind of like fully grasp Welsh. Unfortunately, I haven't fully grasped it. I have tried my best, I suppose, maybe. I do French through Welsh, which basically means that I have all my normal lectures in English with everybody else, and then I just get an extra lecture a week, where there's 3 of us in a room with a Welsh lecturer, and all we speak is French and Welsh. And the very first session of this, I was beaming, because for so long throughout sixth form, when I spoke Welsh, all I could think of was French vocabulary and vice versa, and it was so nice to finally be able to speak both and be understood. So if I had like one word in my head and just said it, then the lecturer would understand what I meant, even though I wasn't speaking the language I just spoke. In terms of English language, I did a module thoroughly through Welsh, so all the lectures were in Welsh, all the slides were in Welsh, all the assigned reading was in Welsh, and that was so daunting. Luckily, Bangor does have a bilingual policy, so you can submit your work in Welsh or English, so that's for any course, and then they have to find someone who could then mark it for you based on Welsh knowledge. But it is within your right to submit a piece of work in Welsh, and I think that's really cool. However, I used that on the other way around, and I submitted all my Welsh work in English because I just didn't feel confident enough, and I felt like if I'd done it in Welsh then the standard of the writing wouldn't have been as good as I'd wanted it to be. I would have made lots of mistakes, and then my mark would have gone down, so I was much more comfortable sticking to English and doing it that way. So if you are looking at carrying on with Welsh or picking up Welsh or developing your knowledge of Welsh, I would definitely recommend Bangor as a uni, because there's such a small community feel when you are part of the Welsh side of it. I was initially considering going to JMJ, which is the Welsh block of halls, but I decided against it because I felt like maybe I would be a little bit left out. If I could go back, I probably would go and live in JMJ, because I can imagine that I would probably be a lot more confident with my Welsh and would be speaking it a lot more, but I wouldn't want to give up the friends that I have now from my flat, so yeah. The other thing about Bangor is that because it's so small, because my courses are so small, the lecturers really get to know you, and that's really cool. Like in my French classes, there's maybe about 7 of us in a tutorial, I suppose, but we just call them lectures, tutorials, because we don't have a whole lecture and then a little tutorial. We just have tutorials all the time, seminars, whatever you want to call them. And so you really get to know the lecturer and they get to know you, and you can ask them questions and they'll answer, and the emailing system is really, really good, and I'm just really thankful for such a small, nice community in a university, and that's what I wanted. If I'd gone somewhere else, if I'd gone to a bigger uni that was a Russell group perhaps, because that's what the other 4 of my applications were for UCAS, I I feel like I probably would have struggled a bit more because you don't kind of have, well, I don't know, but I'm guessing that you don't have that kind of relationship with your lecturers. So if you are looking for a smaller uni where you can get to know your lecturers and feel a bit more comfortable with them and actually know them, I suppose, I would recommend Bangor. Now, another big part of uni life is societies, and Bangor does not fall short for choices. We get free societies, so you don't have to pay to join, and I'm not sure whether that's just specifically in first year or whether that's in other years as well, but that was a really big selling point for me because there were lots of different things that I wanted to do, and if I'd gone to somewhere else, then that would have been a lot of money that I was just giving away. For the sake of just trying something. So in the first couple of weeks I joined dance, I joined Bedsock, I think I joined a couple of other things as well, but it's hard to kind of manage all your time, so you can't go to all these different societies really. You just kind of have to pick the ones that you love. So with dance, I do tap dance. I have been doing it for about 5 or 6 years. I've never done any grades or anything, so I went into the beginners/intermediate class, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The people are so lovely, the classes are taught by students, and like the whole community of dance is really, really lovely. Throughout the year I got to make some really good friends, and I'm really looking forward to taking up more dances next year because I always felt like I just did one dance in every show and that was it. I felt like, was there even any point? But we did manage to win some competitions, which is really nice, and I just had a lot of fun. The other thing that I'm a part of is the newspaper, which is called Seren, and it's the English language newspaper, but Welsh titled because Wales. And I was kind of involved with it this year. I helped proofread for a few issues, and I felt like I wanted to get more involved because I wasn't as involved as I wanted to be. So when it came around to the AGM, which is the annual general meeting, which you will have a lot of them if you are part of societies towards the end of the year, but when it came to that, I decided I wanted to put myself forward for a sub-editing position. So next year I am the sub-editor for the travel section, which I'm really looking forward to because travel is like such a big dream of mine. And I would like to research different things and give tips and tricks and stuff, so maybe when I make articles I might also make a corresponding video. Who knows? The other thing that I've also signed myself up for next year is volunteering. I didn't do any this year, apart from I was a course rep for English language, but I wasn't a massive part of it, but I might still go for it again next year because it is really interesting to kind of have a connection between the students and the lecturers, because then you get to give feedback and that's always really nice. But on top of that, next year I am part of the LCOS project, which basically entails looking after kids. These children's parents, at the same time that we're looking after them, their parents are having free English language lessons because they may have moved over, they might not have a very good level of English, and so the uni offers free language lessons for them. And then if they have young children and they've got nowhere to take them, then we just look after them and play with them for a couple of hours, and it's quite good fun. The other part of volunteering that I should be doing next year is working in a cafe for people over the age of 50. I haven't had a shift yet because we have to do safeguarding training beforehand, and I wasn't able to make the safeguarding training, so we've all got to do it next term, so we can't start until next term, but never mind. So I'm looking forward to doing that because this year, on a side note, I've also had a job. So when I was applying for uni, I already had a job, and so I was hopefully going to get a transfer from that store to the store up in Bangor, but unfortunately they didn't need me or want me, I'm not too sure. So then, because I knew I would be jobless, I then decided that I still wanted a job, so we came up a couple of weeks before uni started, me and my mum, and we just went around to different places. I handed out my CV, and then we went over to Menai Bridge, and there I found a little restaurant which was so lovely, so I popped in, handed my CV in. I've never had any waitressing experience before, but then a couple of weeks later I got a call from my now boss, and she gave me a phone interview because obviously I was at home, so I didn't want to like come up for an interview just for an interview. So I eventually got the job and I was very happy. I got trained, and I think maybe waitressing or bar work is probably the best way to go if you want a job in uni, because the hours are really flexible, well they were for me at least, and it's really useful because then you can have your whole day to do whatever you want, and then in the evening then you've got your job, and that's when you make your money and you dedicate your time just to your job in the evening. And that's really cool. On average I have around 2 shifts a week. It is a bit annoying because they are Friday and Saturday, so I can't really go out, but if you want to go out there are other nights of the week. It's student life, you can literally just do what you want, as long as you avoid like the night before 9 AM, even though you probably won't avoid it because we've all been there. Now there's lots more that I could probably talk about, but a video has to end at some point. So this is just kind of me reflecting on my year, maybe giving you a bit more of an idea of what uni is like, and yeah, I can't believe it's gone so quickly. It does go really, really quickly, but I've enjoyed almost every minute of it. There have been ups and downs. Obviously you're gonna miss home, but I did go home pretty much once a month. As soon as I came to uni I booked my train home for the beginning of October, so I had something to look forward to, and that's really useful. I think if I was going to give you one piece of advice, it would be to book your train home when you get there, because then for me at least it was like I had something to look forward to, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm not at home, I miss my family, I'm never gonna see them, blah 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 blah. It's okay, you will see them. I did talk to my parents like pretty much every day for the first few months, and then gradually I started having too much fun, so I stopped. That's not very nice, I don't mean that, but I sincerely think it's a really good idea to keep in contact with your family, especially at the beginning. Don't like shut yourself off from all your old friends, but inevitably you will kind of drift apart a bit. It is okay, it's fine, it's a part of life, but you will make so many new friends, it's amazing. You'll be really happy, I promise. So that's the end of my little chat to you. Yeah, if you have any questions about my uni experience, please ask me, but there's not a lot to tell really. But yeah, I do want to make a few more videos, definitely a room tour and anything else if anyone wants anything else, but no one ever asks me for videos, so it's fine, it's fine. I never post anyway, so don't worry, but I will be posting more, I promise. Okay, so if you're new and you don't really know, at the end of the videos I like to do a word of the day, so I do one in Welsh and one in French because they're my 2 languages. And I don't think I've done this word before, but you never know. The word for the day, whether it has already been the word of the day or not, is university. In Welsh it is prifysgol, and in French it is l'université. And I think I've probably done that before because I remember saying that on camera, but have it again. So thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't bored you for like this 26 minutes of footage, but you know, there you go. I shall see you when I see you. Hwyl!